Hello, my name's Adam Smith. I was born in Dudley Road Hospital on January the 7th, 1976. I've been a newspaper journalist for the last 15 or 16 years, and I've written about stories in Handsworth, Perry Barr, Newtown, Birmingham City Centre. When I started, the PR press, the police press office would have been quite small. Now it's a massive operation, and they break news themselves. So the new breed of journalists, they can quite happily just get stories from emails and stuff like that. But I would say I'm an old school journalist, where I get a lot of stories from pubs and clubs and just speaking to people. And being a journalist is all about contact. So everybody from my mum's church friends to my old school friends, to the people in the Crown and Cushion. So anybody who's talking about anything, actually, I'll try and see as a contact and try and get a story from them. So it is definitely a good news patch. You also get some really good, interesting human interest stories. Obviously, with people coming in from different countries, and it's quite transient. There's different cultures, so there's always interesting stories about different people acclimatising. You usually find with patches that the more deprivation there is, the better the news. There's a lot of, obviously, as a journalist, you have to look for all different kinds of stories, because there's always been lots of crime stories coming out of Perry Barr and Handsworth. I've done a lot of work on the gangs. Crime compared to the 90s seems to have gone down. It doesn't seem to be as violent, but there was definitely a time from about 92 up to about 2008, I'd say, when there was a lot of gang activity and lots of shootings and stuff like that. So I'm basically probably the only journalist that most people know. So if anyone's got a story, they'll always come to me. But then again, it comes as well with pitfalls, because people, if you've got like a housing problem, they think I can solve that as well. And obviously, a lot of the time I can't. Standards of local journalism, I would say, it's there's just not as many journalists as there was. So the Birmingham Mail would cover Handsworth. And now they would have had their own reporter just based in Handsworth, and now they wouldn't have that. In the last 10 years is the amount of local bloggers. So now you're getting a lot of people blogging about Perry Barr and Handsworth, where they've got a voice and they can put it on the website. So now it's probably easier to get information out about what's happening on the street and what information out there than it is before. But there's probably more citizen journalists. Just an iconic name, Handsworth, isn't it? And people attach lots of stuff like that. It's like the first place where the immigrants came, and that. But it's a very transient area, so you get people come through and move through and stuff like that. But now the Crown and Cushion, it was known for years as the first port of call for the Irish immigrants. So if you wanted a job, you'd come to the Crown and Cushion if you're Irish. And then as it's changed over the years, it's now a Jamaican-owned pub. Due to the last say year, there's been some really bad news from Perry Barr, where the university's leaving Perry Barr. Tucker Fasteners, which was a massive employer, that's closed down. The Birchfield Library, which was meant to be built, has been scrapped and the land sold. And the IMI building was meant to bring loads more jobs in. So basically, for the last couple of years, if anybody read anything about Perry Barr, it would be all about bad things happening, as in a lot of money going out of the area, institutions leaving the area. So I thought we're going to do something positive, do a Perry Barr Film and Music Festival, which is basically led by myself, but also the main thing is led by anybody who wants to get involved. So when you think about all the different restaurants we have in Perry Barr and Handsworth, everything from Romanian to Jamaican, Nigerian, Turkish, Barbadian, all these things. So I thought, well, a lot of these places have screens in them. So if they can show whatever film they want. First ever Odeon in the world is in Perry Barr, where it's now an Asian banqueting suite. So if I can try to get Odeon to come and show their first ever film, I think it's obviously Perry Barr's obviously got, because it was the first ever Odeon, we've got a place in movie history. No, I wasn't hard enough to join the gang.